Our world is full of incredible places. I have been lucky enough to see many of them, from the highest peaks to the deepest jungles. But some of the most powerful places are the ones we cannot see. They are hidden away, guarded by nature and by people. These are the secret strongholds, the fortresses built in the shadows. They pull at our imagination because they hold secrets we might never know. They are a challenge, a mystery waiting to be solved. We are naturally curious creatures, and the idea that something is deliberately hidden from us only makes us want to understand it more. It's like finding a locked door in the middle of a vast wilderness. You can't help but wonder what's on the other side. Among these hidden places, one name stands out: Mount Yamantau. It is located deep within Russia, a country known for its vast, untamed landscapes and its long history of secrets. On the surface, it might look like just another mountain, part of the ancient Ural range that divides Europe and Asia. But Yamantau is different. It is not a place you can just decide to visit or climb. It is surrounded by fences, guarded by soldiers, and protected by a level of secrecy that is almost unheard of in our modern world. This isn't just a national park with restricted access. This is something else entirely, a place that governments around the world have watched for decades, with a mixture of suspicion and fascination. The name itself, Yamantau, means evil mountain in the local Bashkir language. That name alone is enough to send a shiver down your spine. Local legends have long spoken of it as a place to be avoided, a place of strange happenings and bad spirits. But the modern mystery of Yamantau is not one of folklore. It is a story of concrete and steel, of massive construction projects and Cold War paranoia that seems to have never ended. It represents one of the last great secrets from that era, a time when superpowers built incredible things in the dark, preparing for a future that thankfully never came. Or perhaps they were preparing for something else entirely. What makes Yamantau so captivating is that it forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge. In an age of satellite imagery and instant information, where it feels like every corner of the globe has been mapped and photographed, this mountain fortress remains a black hole. It is a testament to the power of a determined nation to keep a secret even when the whole world is watching. It reminds me of tracking an elusive animal in the wild. You see the signs, you know it's there, but the creature itself remains hidden from view. The mystery of Yamantau is a puzzle with many missing pieces, and that is what makes it so utterly compelling. Mount Yamantau is located in the Republic of Bashkortostan, right in the heart of Russia's Ural Mountains. This is a remote and rugged part of the world. The Urals are an ancient mountain range, weathered down by time, and they form a natural spine running north to south across the country. This location is significant for a few reasons. Firstly, it is incredibly isolated. It is far from major cities and prying eyes, nestled within a vast nature reserve. This natural camouflage makes it the perfect place to hide something important. If you want to build a secret, you don't do it in a busy neighborhood. You go to the most remote place you can find, where nature itself becomes your first line of defense. The mountain itself stands at 1,640 meters, or about 5,381 feet. It is not the tallest peak in the world, but it is a formidable presence in the region. The surrounding landscape is a mix of dense forests, rocky outcrops, and harsh weather, especially in winter. This challenging environment alone would deter most casual visitors. But the attention on Yamantau isn't because of its natural beauty or its potential for adventure. The focus is on what has been built there, or more accurately, what has been built inside it. Since the final years of the Soviet Union, and continuing right up to today, satellites have captured evidence of massive construction projects on and around the mountain. The scale of the operation is what first caught the attention of Western intelligence agencies. This was not a small mining operation or a scientific outpost. Observers noted the construction of new roads, railway lines and ventilation shafts leading into the mountainside. Thousands of workers were reportedly brought in to work on the project. To support this workforce, two entire towns, known as closed cities, were built nearby, Mezhgory and Beloretsk 16. These are not normal towns. They have restricted access, and their entire existence is tied to the secret facility within the mountain. This level of investment and security points to something of immense national importance. These closed cities are a throwback to the Soviet era, when dozens of such settlements existed across the country, dedicated to secret military or nuclear research. The fact that Mezhgory was established and continues to thrive tells us that the project at Yamantau is not some abandoned relic of the past. It is an active, ongoing concern. The entire area is a fortress. The combination of its remote geography, the immense scale of the construction, the presence of dedicated closed cities, and the heavy military security makes Mount Yamantau one of the most mysterious and closely guarded locations on the planet. It's a modern-day fortress hidden in plain sight. When you are trying to understand a secret, you look for the signs, the clues left behind. With Mount Yamantau, the signs are impossible to ignore, even from space. For decades, satellites operated by the United States and other nations have been watching this remote corner of the Urals. What they have seen is a pattern of activity that raises more questions than answers. The most obvious signs are the massive excavation projects. We are talking about the removal of millions of cubic meters of rock. This suggests the creation of a vast underground complex, a city buried deep within the mountain itself. You don't move that much earth just to build a small storage shed. Beyond the digging, there is the infrastructure built to support it. New, high-capacity railway lines and modern highways were carved into the landscape, all leading directly to the mountain complex. These are not small country lanes. They are built to handle heavy traffic and large equipment. This suggests a continuous flow of materials and personnel, both during construction and for the facility's ongoing operation. Furthermore, observers have noted large ventilation shafts on the slopes of the mountain. These are essential for any large underground structure, providing fresh air for the people inside and removing exhaust from machinery. Their size and number hint at a complex that could house thousands of people for an extended period. Then there is the security. The entire area around Mount Yamantau is a restricted zone, heavily guarded by Russian military forces. The airspace above is a no-fly zone, meaning no commercial or private aircraft are allowed to pass over it. This level of security is extreme. It is far beyond what you would expect for a simple mine or a food storage depot. It is the kind of security you reserve for your most vital national secrets, like a command and control center or a top-secret research facility. Anyone who tries to get close on the ground is quickly stopped and turned away. The message is clear: stay away. All these clues, when pieced together, paint a picture of a project of staggering size and importance. The sustained construction over decades, the creation of dedicated towns for workers, the heavy-duty transport links, the massive ventilation systems, and the ironclad security perimeter all point to one conclusion. Russia has built, and continues to maintain, a colossal underground fortress inside Mount Yamantau. It is a facility designed to withstand almost anything, and to operate in complete isolation from the outside world. The only question that remains is the most important one: what is it for? When confronted with all this evidence, you would expect a clear explanation. But the official stories from the Russian government have been vague, inconsistent, and ultimately unconvincing. Over the years, officials have offered several different explanations for the activity at Mount Yamantau. At one point, they claimed it was simply a mining site. This explanation falls apart quickly when you look at the evidence. The infrastructure, the security, and the nature of the excavation do not match any known mining operation. Mines are built to extract resources, not to create a sealed, self-sustaining underground city with massive air filtration systems. Another official line was that the facility is a national repository for food or state treasures. Think of it as a secure warehouse for Russia's most valuable assets. While this sounds plausible at first, it again doesn't quite fit the scale of the project. A storage facility, even a very secure one, does not require the kind of infrastructure seen at Yamantau. The sheer size of the underground complex, estimated to be up to 400 square miles, is far larger than what would be needed for simple storage. It also fails to explain the thousands of workers living in the nearby closed cities and the extreme military presence. You don't need a fortress to guard stockpiles of grain. Perhaps the most puzzling part is that these explanations have changed over time. One year it's a mine, the next it's a storage bunker. This inconsistency suggests that the real purpose is something they are unwilling to talk about. If there was a simple, innocent explanation, it would be easy to stick to one story and even provide some proof. The shifting narrative feels like an attempt to deflect questions and confuse observers. It is a classic tactic when you are trying to hide something important. You give just enough of an answer to satisfy a basic query, but not enough to reveal the truth. This only deepens the suspicion that the real purpose is far more serious. Ultimately, the official stories create more questions than they answer. They do not align with the visual evidence gathered by satellites or the intelligence analysis of foreign governments. American officials, for example, have publicly stated that they believe the complex is a massive nuclear-hardened underground bunker. The refusal of the Russian government to provide a credible, consistent explanation for such a colossal and expensive project is the main reason why Mount Yamantau remains shrouded in mystery. When the facts don't match the story, you know the real story is still hidden. It's like finding tracks for a bear, but being told it was just a rabbit. You know something isn't right. With the official stories falling short, we are left to speculate based on the evidence. The most prominent and widely accepted theory is that Mount Yamantau is a massive, deep underground command and control bunker. In the event of a nuclear war, this is where Russia's top political and military leaders would retreat to. The complex would be designed to survive a direct nuclear strike and allow the government to continue functioning. It would be a self-contained world, with its own power, water, and air filtration systems, capable of supporting tens of thousands of people for months on end. This theory explains the immense size, the extreme security, and the location deep inside a mountain. A second major theory is that Yamantau is a site for the development or storage of secret weapons. This could include new generations of nuclear warheads, advanced missile systems, or even more exotic technologies like directed energy weapons. A deep underground facility would be the perfect place to conduct such sensitive research and development, hidden from the prying eyes of spy satellites and foreign agents. It would also be a secure location to store the country's most important nuclear assets. This theory is supported by the site's connection to the network of closed cities, which have historically been centers for Russia's nuclear weapons program. A third possibility combines elements of the first two. Yamantau could be a multi-purpose facility. It might serve as a doomsday bunker for the leadership, but also as a secure storage vault for Russia's state reserves. This could include not just gold and precious gems, but also critical data, art, and archives, the cultural and financial heritage of the nation. In a crisis, you would want to protect both your leaders and your national wealth. Building one colossal, impregnable fortress to safeguard everything makes a certain kind of strategic sense. The sheer size of the complex suggests it could easily be large enough to serve all these functions at once. It could be a command post, a weapons lab, and a national vault all rolled into one. These theories are not mutually exclusive. The truth could be a combination of all three, or something else entirely that we haven't even considered. What is clear is that the facility is designed for survival and continuity of government in the worst-case scenario. It is a product of Cold War thinking, but the continued investment in it today shows that this mindset has not gone away. Whether it is a bunker for leaders, a lab for weapons, or a vault for treasure, Mount Yamantau represents Russia's ultimate insurance policy. It is a place built for a world on the brink, a silent, stone fortress waiting for a crisis that we all hope will never come. The story of Mount Yamantau's construction is a testament to its importance. The project was started in the last years of the Soviet Union, a time of great uncertainty. But the most intense period of construction happened during the 1990s, a decade of extreme economic and social chaos for Russia. The Soviet Empire had collapsed, the economy was in freefall, and the state was struggling to pay for basic services like pensions and healthcare. Soldiers were going without pay, and the country's infrastructure was crumbling. It was a time of immense hardship and weakness for the Russian nation. Yet, during this period of near collapse, the Yamantau project continued at full speed. While the rest of the country was tightening its belt, billions of dollars were being poured into hollowing out this mountain. Thousands of workers were employed, and vast amounts of concrete, steel, and advanced equipment were transported to this remote location. This tells you everything you need to know about how vital this project was, and still is, to the Russian state. It was not a luxury item that could be cut from the budget. It was considered an absolute necessity, more important than almost anything else. It was a priority on par with the nation's survival. This massive investment during such a difficult time strongly suggests that Yamantau is not a civilian project. It points directly to a purpose of the highest strategic and military importance. A government on the brink of bankruptcy does not spend its last resources on a food warehouse or a mining venture. It spends them on what it believes is essential for its long-term security and sovereignty. The decision to fund Yamantau while other parts of the state were falling apart shows a remarkable level of commitment from the very top of Russia's leadership, a commitment that has spanned different governments and political ideologies, from the late Soviet era to the present day. This unwavering focus on completing the project, regardless of the country's economic fortunes, is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence about its true nature. It demonstrates a long-term strategic vision. It shows that Russia's leaders have been planning for a major crisis for decades, and they see Yamantau as their ultimate safeguard. The fortress was not just built with concrete and steel, it was built with the conviction that it was essential for the future of the nation. This quiet, relentless construction, hidden from the world and prioritized above all else, makes the mountain's secret even more profound. To understand just how unique Mount Yamantau is, it helps to compare it to other secret sites around the world. The United States, for example, has its own famous secret locations. The most well-known is probably the Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado. Like Yamantau, it is a command and control bunker built deep inside a mountain, designed to withstand a nuclear attack. For years, it was the nerve center of North American air defense, NORAD. However, while it was once highly secret, much is now known about Cheyenne Mountain. Its purpose is public, and it has even been featured in films and television shows. It is no longer the mystery it once was. Another famous American site is Area 51 in the Nevada desert. It is a highly classified military base, known for its connection to the development of experimental aircraft like the U-2 and the F-117 stealth fighter. Area 51 is protected by extreme security, and the airspace above it is restricted. However, its general purpose, testing advanced aerospace technology, is widely understood, even if the specific projects are secret. The US government has even officially acknowledged its existence. Compared to Yamantau, Area 51 is almost an open book. We know why it's there, even if we don't know exactly what's happening inside today. Looking elsewhere, you can find secure vaults like the ones in Switzerland. Deep in the Swiss Alps, there are former military bunkers that have been converted into ultra-secure data centers and storage facilities for wealthy individuals and corporations. These are designed to protect digital information and physical assets from any conceivable threat. But again, their purpose is clear. They are commercial enterprises, and while their client lists are secret, their function is not. They are not vast state-run complexes with dedicated military towns and budgets shrouded in national security classifications. They are private businesses operating in a known market. When you place Mount Yamantau alongside these other sites, its uniqueness becomes clear. While Cheyenne Mountain's purpose is known, Yamantau's is not. While Area 51's function is understood, Yamantau's remains a matter of speculation. And while Swiss bunkers are private ventures, Yamantau is a state-run project of monumental scale. It combines the impenetrable structure of a mountain bunker with the intense secrecy of a Black Ops site, all funded by a major world power for a purpose they refuse to credibly explain. It is this combination of physical scale, long-term investment, and total official silence that makes Yamantau arguably the most mysterious and secretive place on Earth today. In our modern world, true secrecy is becoming incredibly rare. We live in an age of transparency, satellite imagery, and the internet, where information spreads across the globe in seconds. Whistleblowers can leak documents, and citizen journalists can expose secrets that were once locked away. It feels like there are no hidden corners left on the map. And yet, Mount Yamantau endures as a powerful exception. It stands as a monument to the idea that with enough resources, determination, and political will, it is still possible to keep a very big secret. This is what makes it so fascinating. It defies the rules of our information-saturated age. The secrecy surrounding Yamantau remains intact today for a simple reason. The Russian state wants it that way. The facility is considered a matter of supreme national security, and the state has used all its power to protect it. This includes physical security on the ground, control over information within its borders, and a consistent refusal to engage with questions from the outside world. As long as the project is deemed vital for the nation's survival or its strategic advantage, the walls of silence will remain firmly in place. The mystery is not an accident, it is a carefully maintained policy. It is a deliberate act of concealment on a massive scale. This complete lack of knowledge is precisely what fuels our curiosity. It's human nature. When a door is locked and we are told we can never know what is behind it, our imagination runs wild. We start to fill in the gaps with our own theories, each one more dramatic than the last. Is it a bunker for the apocalypse? A laboratory for building superweapons? A vault holding unimaginable treasures? The not knowing is more powerful than any simple truth might be. The mystery itself becomes the story, a modern legend that captures the imagination of people all over the world. In the end, Mount Yamantau is more than just a mountain or a military base. It is a symbol of the enduring power of secrets in a world that claims to have none. It reminds us that there are still things we are not meant to know, places we are not meant to see. Its silent, imposing presence in the Ural Mountains is a challenge to our curiosity, a puzzle without a solution. And as long as its true purpose remains hidden deep within the rock, people will continue to watch, to wonder, and to speculate about the secrets of the evil mountain. That is the ultimate power of the unknown.